Alright folks, the FSV Scheme A, the Tier 7 normal British wheel medium tank. It's not a tank, it's a car, but this thing actually looks like a car compared to the later dump trucks of a design with the GSOR 1010FB or the 1006 or the concept number 5. They all have a big ass in the rear, dump truck of an ass in the back, and it's wide too. So this vehicle actually looks like a car. The length of the vehicle is no bigger than the width of a roadway, so it's a pretty small vehicle. Using the 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗧 as size aspect ratio, it's a pretty small vehicle. Therefore, the camouflage value should be pretty good, right? It is a big ass 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗧, or the vehicle is pretty small. Rapid firing 75mm. It is a peanut thrower at tier 7, so punching a lot of holes, but does it punch as hard as the Comet? That is the big question. It'll be a downside to puncturing a tier 9 with a 75mm. That would be a big problem. Oh no. This thing fight off a 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵 Okay. But not a bad vehicle in terms of design. It could work at tier 5 or tier 6, but it's at tier 7. Oh well. Also, the turret kinda looks like a cleft shape, like a bulldog mixed with a T-49 a little bit, but broken wheel. So let's take a look at the stats. 75mm rapid firing gun, 185mm of pen for a tier 7 medium tank is not half bad, surprisingly. They usually have an upgraded tier 5 gun, like a 75mm with the VK 3002D or the Panther. So it's close to the Panther pen with the long barrel 75s or the 77 on the Comet, but the Comet has only like 150mm of pen or 140 or something, so not bad, but the alpha is wonky. If you're sniping, you want to have big alpha to run away after you take the shot. You're not sitting there and spamming a lot of shells, otherwise you get spotted and you get shot at. So I don't know, I mean it works for the Kampfpanzer 07RH, but you have to run around pretty quick. So dispersion hopefully will be pretty good, otherwise move. Alright, shell velocity not half bad for AP. It's okay for sniping. It's about the same as the Comets. And APCR for gold shell, 220mm of pen for gold is workable, but you'll struggle against tier 8s or tier 9s, especially heavy tanks. High explosive is not that great. All of them doesn't have a plastic head or squash head, so only 38mm of pen. It reloads quick. DPM is about 2000 or so. Aim time is good. Accuracy is not half bad. 5 degrees of gun depression, 15 elevation. That might be a problem with a vehicle of that design. So if it's low to the ground, you have no problem with the gun depression. If it's a little bit taller, like with something of an OHO, you'll struggle to point the gun down, even if you have like 5 degrees to the side or something. So you have to tip the vehicle over to work with the gun. It's okay, I guess. 50 rounds. Potential damage is still about 7,500, so close to the tier 8 or tier 9, but you're working with a lower tier or less health pool, so therefore not as big of a problem with only 50 rounds of the 75mm. Crew of 3 as expected, top speed of 60, reverse of 30, horsepower per ton ratio is 24.4, so a little bit above average compared to other medium tanks with actual tracks, but not as fast as a EBR or the Hotchkiss. Weighs only 9 tons. Don't ram stuff. All traverse speed is decent for a wheeled vehicle. Turret traverse is actually pretty quick. Health is below average, but it's a car, only 1000. Don't face up against a BZ-176. You'll lose like 90% of your health, or even get one-shotted for that matter. No armor whatsoever. View range is actually below average, but it's a car, so 370. Usually it's about 380 or so for a medium tank at tier 7. Radio is below average, but it's still workable. I mean, you should have pretty good camo, so that's the upside compared to the later ones. Later ones have kind of garbage camo because of their size, but that's a stock turret. Stock 75mm. Ugh. Short barrel 75, but compared with the Comet, this is the stock page, no actual stats. Stock turret also looks a little bit bigger than the actual upgraded turret too. 50 rounds. Stock shell velocity is 800. Gold shell is about 1,000. Yeah, stock gun is kind of painful, but you should be unlocking the second 76mm right away, so that shouldn't be that big of a problem. Stock gun is, yeah, kind of bad. Unlock the gun for Saladin. This is the stock gun for the Saladin at tier 8. This is the second stock gun on the Saladin, which is the top gun on this vehicle. But the stock grind is still kind of, I mean, it's only 10mm less than the Comet, so you still could work with it, but you're playing mostly like a versatile, more like an actual medium tank, the sniper at that point, until you upgrade the gun to the 185mm pin. The radio is shared across the board, so you should have this thing unlocked right away. Engine is not shared. Wheels are not obviously not shared, or the turret. Also, the gun is only shared on the vehicle coming afterwards, so you have to unlock them. But yeah, stock grind is not going to be pleasant, especially with the low pin 75mm. 76 is alright, but still only 12 more millimeters of pin at the cost of DPM too. Oof. Yeah, stock grind on this thing is also not fun. Alright, full stats with this page. Stock 75, upgraded 76, fully upgraded 75. And it's fast to traverse, that's a plus, but the 76 to the 75 gets better pin at the same DPM rate. Actually better DPM, it deals more damage, 15 more damage, so slightly more DPM with the top gun, about 2000 DPM, which is not half bad, but usually tier 7s have a rapid firing tier 5 gun with about 2200 DPM or so, so a little bit below average in terms of DPM powerhouses, but you have the penetration. Accuracy is good, aim time is good, 5 degrees gun depression is still wonky, like I said. It actually has 35mm on the hull and 40 on the turret. You mentioned there's only 18 with the Supertest Stats page. Oh, come on guys, check your errors. Ugh. Weighs about 9 tons or so, 24 horsepower per ton ratio, 60 kilometers per hour top speed, 30 reverse. Hull traverse is about 31 degrees. Turret traverse is fast. Yeah, very fast, 50. Camouflage is actually pretty decent, 18.3. That is about the same as actual chunkier light tanks at tier 7. Wait, T-71s have decent camouflage values. Which one is this close to? The LTG? Let me take a quick look. Tier 7 lights, we can do the stats. Camouflage by stationary camo at tier 7 for light tanks. Ooh, 17. Wow, LTG has the best one. Holy crap. What is it? It has better camo than most of the light tanks. Surprising, right? Well, why is it so bad for the T-71? Holy crap. Never realized it's only 14. I thought it was at least 16 or so. That's pretty bad. The LTG has like about 20. That's pretty good. Well, yeah, camo is better than most of the light tanks at tier freaking 7. Holy crap. View range is obviously not as good. It's about average. We can do that for view range too. View range, tier 7 light tanks, 400. So at the bottom of the barrel compared to these other ones. Let's see with medium tanks. View range, yeah, 370 is middle of the pack, so not the greatest. Ew, 365 for the Panther M10. That's gross. So a little bit below average, or middle of the road, but meh. Radio is obviously below average. Alright, so basically, this thing. How the hell do I feel about this thing? You will obviously want something of a rammer for this thing, but it's a rapid firing gun. Rammer would definitely help out with the DPM, boosting that up to about 2,200, 300 or so, but does it compete with the Comet? The good thing about the Comet is it has the gun depression, 12 degrees with rapid firing gun, 77mm, but it doesn't have the penetration. So the upside to this vehicle is it's more like a versatile medium tank than an actual sniper. You're not sniping with that pen. Not really, unless you're spamming all the gold shell in the world like a scum. But yeah, you're not sniping with that penetration baseline for AP round. So this thing is very good ridging a hill line or wolf packing for that sense with a DPM, but this thing, it has the penetration. I'm just worried about the alpha. If that pin goes along with a 90mm per se and having about 250-ish alpha with less time to expose yourself while sniping, then that would be a lot better, but you're a rapid firing gun, negating your camouflage value. So it does have a very good traverse. Yeah. Alright, let's talk equipments before I go off track and segue into other parts. So rammer, definitely, obviously. I think optics would be pretty good. Also turbocharger, definitely, for running around. You don't have the second slot bonus from field modification, so choose whichever one you want. You could choose the camouflage bonus with the low exhaust or no low noise exhausting, so this thing also works. Vertical stabilizer if you're planning on shooting while moving. But these things usually have good dispersion factors, along with the premium tank at tier 8. But you don't need the enhanced gun lane drive or improved aiming gunner sights. You already have pretty good accuracy and aim time. Maybe... No, don't put improved hardening, giggity, on your vehicle. You don't need that much health. You're just focused on running around and not try to get hit, right? So none of the health bonus from like hardening or spall liners. I will still say optics. Optics, rammer, turbocharger. The classic setup for medium tanks. Yeah, classic setup. You don't need that much health or camouflage bonus. Camouflage is good, but you're mostly focused on using the gun. So using the 183 or 85mm of pin to your advantage. Alright, and the accuracy and aim time, but it'll be a problem with corridor maps and tier 9 vehicles. That would be a big problem. Alright, field modification. Better traverse or better durability for a damaged ammo rack or engine. You should not get hit. If you do get hit, run away and use the repair kit. So I would say better hull traverse and turret traverse speed, but this is only good for something that gets hit constantly, like with Super Pershings or M47 improved. I mean, if you have a damaged ammo rack, you should back off and repair it, right? You should not be still continue to engage, otherwise you catch on fire or you basically explode, instant death. Second one, for aim circle size or dispersion, I would say better dispersion if you're planning on moving while shooting. This applies to most of the wolf packing medium tanks, like with the Comet, so I would choose this one. And lastly, camouflage or reverse speed and suspension repair speed. This also applies to the wheels, I believe. So I would say getting better repair speed and reverse speed. Well, if you don't want to reverse and don't plan on getting hit, then might as well choose the camouflage thing. I would say choosing camouflage would be a little bit better at this point. Just don't get focused on or try to take hits. Don't expose yourself too much. The Comet is a different story. It has somewhat of a trowish mantlet at the front. You could haul down with this thing. So that's why I chose the reverse speed with the trowish mantlet to play peekaboo with haul down tactics, but I would say better camo with the optics thing, like with actual sniper tanks or sniper mediums. So let's see, medium tanks, snipers, Germans is pretty much basic. Did I choose camo? I chose camo. So usually you will want camo for the third slot. But how much would I rate this thing? It's a normal tier 7. Everybody has access to it. The downside to this vehicle is it doesn't have the health. It's a rapid firing gun, so negating the camo while you're firing too much. But view range is below average, middle of the average. But you do have the penetration. That is a good point about this thing. You are pretty nimble, but not as quick as an actual car. Still better than medium tanks, but not as quick. And you don't get detract. You can still run away. So tires, benefits, but not as fast. I would still say this thing is not as bad. The tier 9, the tier 8 has a problem with ammo count. This thing doesn't have a problem. It's still the same potential damage. So I would still say 5.5 out of 10. If this thing has a 90mm dealing 200 or 240, 250-ish average alpha with that millimeter of pen, then this thing will be a 6.5 even. So it would be like a Hellcat, but with the punch. Right now it doesn't have the punch, so it's like a 5.5. You have to rapid firing the gun, but once you do, you get spotted. So you don't have the health, you don't have the armor, you're not that quick to run away. Not really, but you still could run away. Gun depression is also a different beast of its own, so I would say 5.5 out of 10. It still feels a little bit better than the tier 8 or tier 9. Maybe. If only this thing has a bigger gun. Well, there we go, folks. The FSV Scheme A Tier 7 normal British wheel medium tank. These vehicles should be coming out in September, right after the current battle pass finish, supposedly. So along with the final chapter or final season of battle pass for this year. So looking towards September or so, early September, for all these vehicles. We should have the common test up in August, along with the marathon or so. Marathon should be around late July for the WZ-111 model number 6 with the VZ-51's turret, about end of this month or beginning of next month. And then common test and the whole patch will be coming out in September or so. Well, there we go, folks. As always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.